Hello and welcome to Washington Exec's video series. I'm senior reporter Rachel Kirkland, and I am joined by leadership coach, motivational speaker, and acclaimed author Charlene Wheeless. Charlene is the author of the Amazon bestseller You Are Enough: Reclaiming Your Career and Your Life with Purpose, Passion, and Unapologetic Authenticity. She is also a cancer survivor, a mother, and a champion for many efforts around diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace. Charlene, thank you for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for having me, Rachel. It's really nice to be here with you.
Absolutely. Now, you shared before that you were at a low point in your life when you began writing You Are Enough. What was that like, and what changed for you as you wrote the book?
Yeah, I like to think that I was at a crossroad, but when I look back on it, I was definitely at a low point. At that point, I was 3 years into a cancer journey, and I still wasn't well. I found that I had gone back to work, but I really couldn't do the job that I had. I didn't have the passion for it as much anymore. So I just left the corporate world as well, and I was just trying to figure out what was I going to do? I knew how to be a corporate executive. I'd been working towards that for my entire life. And then suddenly that wasn't my reality anymore. So I felt pretty lost for a while. And then I decided, or rather, I felt compelled to write the book because I think I've had somewhat of a unique experience being a Black female executive, particularly in this area with government contractors and defense contractors. And so I had a story to tell. And I'd say the most surprising thing for me in writing the book is that I really felt I was writing the book in service of others, for other women, for people who came behind me. But I ended up finding the process to be very cathartic. And so that was a very pleasant surprise. I thought in offering my lessons to others, I was also healing myself.
Now, what do you want people to know about how to get through the low points in life, which we all have,
Yes, of
and how
course.
can we use those times to maybe become better versions of ourselves?
Yeah, I have four. I'll try to get through them very quickly. I have four mantras that I live by every day. One is understanding and believing that you are enough. I think for a lot of people, especially women and women of color, we don't think we're enough, and we get subtle and not so subtle cues that reinforce that. And I think if you really believe and own that you are enough, then you can be great. Number two is it's choice, not chance, that changes your life. We tend to say, oh, when is someone going to fix this? Or when is someone going to make this better? You have control over your life, over your career, whatever it is. And as long as you exercise that choice, then you're choosing for yourself. You're being deliberate, and you're being intentional. Third is I believe that with 7 seconds of courage, you can do anything. You can change your entire life with just 7 seconds of courage,
7 seconds.
because that's all it takes to take a deep breath, make a decision, and take action. And I'm living proof that you can make that decision in 7 seconds and transform your life. And then lastly, that I would add is that, self-care is not the same thing as being selfish. And often, we ignore our own needs. And that gets us into trouble, whether it's physical or mental, or we're just sitting in a place where we're unhappy. And so I really try to get people to understand you have to take care of yourself first.
Excellent. Now, it's been said that you've been successful because you flat out refused to be ignored, pigeonholed, or forgotten. What did that look like? Or
Yeah,
what does that look like
yeah,
currently?
I think you have to ask anyone who's worked with me, or who I have worked for. They'd probably say yes. That's definitely Charlene. As a female executive, and as a female, particularly a young female, when I was first starting out my career, you hear no a lot. There are people who just don't see you in certain positions, or they don't think that something is right for you or is available for you. And I've always felt like a no is a not yet rather than a definitive. And that, if I really want to go for something, I go for it. And if someone's going to say, no, you can't do this, then I say, okay, I'm going to find another way to do that then. Just because someone tells you that you are this, or you're not that, or you're not enough of this, doesn't mean that you have to believe it, own it, and become it. And so I am all about blazing new trails. And to me, when someone says, no, you can't do this, to me, that's like throwing the gauntlet down. And I've really built a career on people underestimating me and proving them wrong.
Another thing that you've talked about is people becoming their authentic selves. What steps do you advise people to take to do that?
Yeah, wake up every day as you and be you, right? Be the best you that you can. And I think that, there's a tendency in, particularly in the work world, to assimilate rather than acclimate. And when that happens, we give up something when we do that. And so I always like to advise people to know who you are, know what's important to you and your non negotiables, so that when you are changing or adapting rather to your environment, that you're doing it in a very deliberate, intentional way, and you're not giving up more of yourself than what is absolutely necessary. So many people in different ways code switch when they go to work. I encourage people to merge your work life and your personal life and yourself, I guess, and show up as you and help people be comfortable with you rather than you always trying to make people comfortable with you in their space. There's a very big difference there. And so show up as who you are.
Absolutely. Now, what is next for you? You wear a lot of hats.
I do wear a lot of hats. So I am having a great time as a motivational and keynote speaker. I love the part of my business, a practice that I've built around executive coaching and leadership coaching. And that's especially gratifying. Although I coach all types of executives, I'm kind of a bit of what I call a trifecta, because I've been in the C-suite as a Black female executive. I help others who are high potentials navigate the C-suite. And I help the more traditional leaders, your CEOs or your other C-suite executives, learn how to create safe spaces for their minority talent to succeed. So that has been hugely gratifying, and I've just loved every minute of it. And then, of course, I've spent a career as a corporate affairs and communications executive, and doing issues management. And so I still do that consulting as well. And I think I'm living my best life, and I just intend to continue to lean into it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for coming on and sharing your
Oh,
thoughts. It's been a
sure.
pleasure.